There was a time when people didn't have even paper. It used to be so hard and challenging just to meet somebody, just to make an appointment. Nowadays we have internet, and a lot of people thought that that would be a much greater place to live. If we have internet, social networks, messengers, it's so easy to communicate, it's so easy to chat, so easy to find new people, to meet somebody, to find a relationship. So, isn't this great? People were wrong. It did not work out well. Today we see how many problems we have. And there are even more problems to come in future. So today we have full access to 5G, Wi-Fi, internet is everywhere. It's covered in every place, in every village. But there's something wrong with it, isn't there? Have you noticed that it's much harder to find a relationship nowadays than it used to be? If you have this kind of impression, it's not just an impression, it's reality. It is really harder to find a relationship. It's harder to find new friends. It's harder to find new people nowadays, even though we have all these technologies. There is a special term in psychology: social alienation. It's a person's feeling of disconnection from a group, whether friends, family, or wider society, with which the individual has an affiliation. And we have to admit, it's a plague of 21st century. A lot of people suffer from it. Well, of course, I understand. It's a sort of adaptation to new reality. And there are some pros, but there are also some cons. Why is it understandable? Well, somewhere in the past, before these technologies, everyone has to find a person or a specialist to do something. Today, we can hire anyone for any kind of service. So it's not necessary to establish deep relationship with somebody. You can hire anyone. For example, if you have a problem with your lock, you have to know a locksmith. Today you don't even need this. You just Google a local locksmith, call him and he will come. So no relationship, just business. So today we're going to talk about this problem in details, and we'll find out what we actually can do about it and how to feel not that lonely and to feel just happy again. My name is Alex, I'm a social psychologist, and this is my new channel. So please subscribe to it and click on the bell to not miss my new videos. Watch this video till the end, it will be very interesting. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, it's widely known that the world can be separated in two civilizations: Western civilization and Eastern civilization. And what is the main and basic difference between West and East? Today we understand that the most basic difference is this: Western civilization is full of individualism, and Eastern civilization is collectivism. So individual or collective. What is Western civilization? The first symbol that comes to mind is America, and what's America? It's a cowboy. So it's a strong, independent cowboy. He's riding his horse through the desert. He's self-sufficient, self-confident. He doesn't rely on anybody. So he's an individualist. On the other hand, there is Eastern civilization. And what is a typical Eastern person? Let's take a rice collector. And if we take a rice collector, it is not possible to live on your own. You always have to be a part of a group. So now you see the historical context. On one side there is a lonely cowboy in the desert, and on the other side is a Chinese rice collector depending on water irrigation and his group, because he cannot go on himself. But it's not that easy as it seems on the first time. If we look a little bit deeper and take a look at Japan, the first impression that Japan is Eastern civilization, the most eastern country in the world, the country of a rising sun. Well, we know that there is a lot of lonely people there. There was a poll, international poll, where people were asked, do you have a person you can rely on? So 16% of Japanese people said that they don't have such person. Just think about it. 16% don't have a person to rely on, and it's the first place in the world. Second place is United States, 13%, then Sweden, 10%, and then Germany, 5%. But there was another study where people were asked, do you have a person to talk to have a deep conversation? And 20% of Japanese people said they don't have one. So it seems like it's much more complicated. Nowadays, people in Japan even have services like hire a friend for an hour. It's very common, it's not something creepy, and a lot of people use it. So they just hire a person for an hour to talk to him, to spend some time in the park, in cafeteria, or maybe go shopping, just have somebody around to talk to. There is a great study by Engelhardt which is called World Value Survey. It's been going for decades. It's very long lasting and actually very interesting information there. So what they do, they ask a lot of people from dozens of countries and they evaluate what their values are. So we can see that countries like South Korea, Japan, China tend to be very secular, not traditional. What it means? It means that people do not rely on religion, traditions, families, but they rely on themselves. It has pros and cons, but it's a fact, it's reality. But why does this happen? In psychology, there is a train station effect. What does it mean? Just imagine a train station, so very busy place, a lot of people going around. And just think about it, how safe it is. And which place is safer? A train station full of people or a quiet village? Where it's more likely to get robbed, to meet a rude person, on a train station or in a quiet village? Of course, I think that a lot of you already have the answer that train station. Yes, it's true. And we have statistics. A lot of crimes actually happen at train station, not in a quiet village. Why? The explanation is pretty simple. Because when you see a person on a train station, you understand that you see him for the first and for the last time in your life. And other person thinks the same about you. So you don't have that kind of connection. Unlike in a village, where everybody knows each other and they know that whatever happens, we will have to live with it the rest of our lives. So people feel responsible for what they're doing. So the city is very close to this train station. When you live in a big city, a lot of people coming through your life and you see them for the first time and for the last time in your life, and you don't have to be responsible. You don't have to understand them. You don't have to establish deep relationship with every pedestrian. No, you just don't have to. And that's why people get lonely. There is another reason. People who live in big cities have an illusion of rich choice. People think that if I don't get along with this person, well, there are millions of them around, so I will find another one. It's so easy. I don't like this one, I'll take another one tomorrow. No problem. But there is a problem. This reach of choice is actually just an illusion. You just only feel so, you think so, but really you don't have that kind of choice, and people get lonely again. So imagine you want to find a relationship and you're swiping people on Tinder and you have so many of them, hundreds, maybe even thousands. And every time you don't get along with somebody, you just swipe another. You will find another. Again, illusion of rich choice, and people just think that it's so easy to fix just by changing a person, and it doesn't work at all. And on top of that, there is also career, education, and all these kind of ambitions. On one hand, it's great. It's great to have an education, it's great to have a career, but on the other hand, when you're struggling to succeed, you will have to sacrifice your family, your friends, and deep connections with other people. For example, almost every country today in the world is fighting to increase their birth rate. It's a huge global problem. While in demography, it's widely known that for good reproduction, every woman has to give a birth to 2.1 babies. 2.1 babies. Well, it's a just mathematical formula, just slightly more than 2. And very, very few countries reach this point. Usually it's less. So there is no reproduction. So the population of the Earth very soon will start declining. Governments from all over the world are struggling against it. They're trying to do something. Let's ban abortion. Let's give money for giving a birth. Let's launch propaganda to have kids. Let's motivate people somehow, but it all doesn't work. It just simply does not work. Unfortunately, there is only one way to actually start reproduction again. It's to ban women from getting education and getting a job. But of course, nobody will do such horrible thing. So why am I talking about this? The thing is, when people get to getting education and career, they really just don't give a birth. They don't have babies, and they don't have close friends. They don't have close relationships. And after that, they feel lonely. And this is the problem today. Okay, but what can we do about it? What do we have to know? First of all, we have to understand this fact. If you want to go to college, do it. If you want to have a career, do it. Don't forget about getting along with people. Don't forget about family values. Don't forget about deep quality relationship, because only they will make you truly happy. It would be a great idea to attend some themed events, workshops, some festivals, and so on. You can meet people who have mutual interests with you. Or it could be a gym where you can meet a lot of interesting people and establish relationships. So it's only up to you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on my other videos. Take care.